Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for allowing me to make my maiden speech here in the Mother of Parliaments, the global beacon of representative democracy. And I congratulate the member for Peckham on her election and for making her inaugural contribution in this House. I'm humbled to serve the people of Bromsgrove and the villagers in my home county. I have some esteemed and worthy predecessors, most recently Sir Sajid Javid, a man who was the first ethnic minority Member of Parliament to become a Secretary of State and went on to hold not one but two of the great offices of state, having served as Home Secretary and Chancellor of the Exchequer. Sir Sajid is a man whose North Star is his integrity and has devoted much of his time to supporting and championing good and noble causes, including, as many in this House know, suicide prevention. For those unfamiliar, Bromsgrove is a constituency in Worcestershire, and at the centre of it is its namesake town. Bromsgrove is a town proud of its history and traditions, which include a historic court leet, centred around the parade on Fair Day, held on the closest Saturday to midsummer, and in celebration of the 1199 charter granted to the town by King John. This heritage goes further, and Bromsgrove's proud sons and daughters include the poet and scholar A.E. Houseman and his sister Clemence, who I could not fail to mention here in this House, given the role that she played in the suffrage movement. My constituency, however, is much broader than just one town. There are many more villages and hamlets, and being 79% rural, Bromsgrove epitomises the very best of Worcestershire. There are rolling hills and thriving villages where the community spirit is strong, including Clent, Dodford, Stoke Prior, Balbroughton, Romsley, Finstall, Barnt Green, Cofton Hackett, Tardebigg and Olvechurch. There are other communities on the fringe of the constituency whose identities are rooted proudly in Worcestershire, including Hagley, Rubery, Withell, Majors Green and even a touch of glamour in Hollywood. I commit to representing them all. Our villages are home to rural enterprises and farmers who we all rely on 3 times a day, and who are guardians of our countryside, often working in isolated or harsh conditions, both physically and in a competitive marketplace. It would be easy, Mr. Deputy Speaker, to be lulled into thinking that Bromsgrove is somewhere quiet and without ambition, but honourable members must not be fooled. The Sunday Times recently highlighted how South Bromsgrove High School is a powerhouse of aspiration and entrepreneurship, producing young high achievers who've gone on to found leading companies in their sectors, including Gymshark and Able. It is in no small part down to the attractiveness of rural Worcestershire that Bromsgrove is a fertile place for aspiration and ambition to bloom. As a Conservative, I believe in respecting tradition and heritage, which anchors our institutions and values as society evolves to meet the needs of the present day and into the future. Prior to my election to Parliament, I spent many years as a councillor in Worcestershire, including as leader of Wychavon District Council, where I championed the importance of design codes and the role of beautiful design in delivering quality communities which inspire a sense of pride, nod to our past, and catalyse the economic and social investment that allows our towns and villages to flourish. We must do this by shifting our collective focus away from beautiful design being seen as a cost, but rather an investment which pays dividends in the form of thriving communities and vibrant places where aspiration can bloom. This is critical across Bromsgrove, a place that is 89% greenbelt and is the rural buffer between Worcestershire and the urban sprawl of Birmingham, to ensure that we protect our green open spaces and so that we don't build identikit monotony all over the countryside and instead focus on delivering quality homes with appropriate landscaping, a mix of textures and colours with genuine local support first. Over the coming years, we must never forget that the single biggest driver of our economic success is a thriving free market, an environment where businesses are incentivised to invest, creating the prosperity that will underpin our national success. Government must exercise restraint as it seeks to create new bureaucracies, which increase the size of the state under the veil of public service reform, and should be cautious as additional spending, funded through taxation or borrowing, without serious structural reform of public service delivery, will fail every stakeholder who interacts with public services. In my constituency, Bromsgrove School, founded in 1553, employs over 600 local people, and contributes £43 million to the GDP of the UK. Whilst every member of this House would surely agree that education is the foundation of prosperity, the government's proposal to impose VAT on these schools is an ill-conceived affront, not just to the children and families who currently exercise choice in education provision. It is an attack on the wider education system that will undoubtedly do little to enhance the quality of state education and will instead level down education standards across the board. And I say this as someone who was proudly educated in excellent state schools. We must also show determination in delivering vocational skills in agriculture, manufacturing, technology, engineering, and trades which will bolster our prosperity, raising our baseline level of industrial resilience in a world where our adversaries want to blunt our competitive edge. Food and energy security are two of the most significant and interlinked contemporary challenges that we face. The government must remain pragmatic in its efforts to deliver on both, ensuring that in everything it does, it doesn't worship at the altar of ideological purity and inadvertently sacrifice our own long-term economic success in the process. In the words of A.E. Houseman, the house of delusions is cheap to build but drafty to live in and ready at any instant to fall. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I look forward to playing an active role in this House, delivering on behalf of my constituents and in the long-term national interest of our country. Yeah.